Alright everyone, it's Steve here with another CG Geek tutorial. This one will be creating a gaming channel YouTube intro. I should say YouTube gaming channel intro, but we'll be creating a little intro for my gaming channel. If you guys don't know, I have a gaming channel that I've been keeping up to date for the last few months now. I enjoy doing some gaming in the evenings, so I post some videos there. I'm going to be creating an intro for it today, using Blender, and kind of a simple cartoony sort of Minecraft intro for this new series that I'm starting. And yeah, it'll look like what you see here, doing a little bit of cartoon animating. We won't be creating the models ourselves. We'll be using a few models free on BlendSwap, and just doing some cartoon rendering, using some freestyle rendering, and creating some Minecraft logos to go with it. So that's what I'm doing today, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off by getting our materials. Basically, we have a texture we need to download, a font we need to download, and a few models we want to download. So I'm going to jump over to my web browser right here, and this is going to be the blend file that you want to download just to get a few Minecraft models. These are pretty easy to create on your own if you want, but I'm going to be using these just for the sake of speed. So thanks Hunter Killer, and go ahead and download this. You will have to create a BlendSwap account, but that is not hard. So go ahead and do that and download this. I'll just download it myself right now. Alright, very good. And then you're going to want to download this Minecraft font, Minecrafter version 3. I'll put a link to this in the description, and a link to this in the description as well. So you're going to want to download this texture here. And that's it. Links to all these will be in the description, like I said. And I'm jumping back to Blender. Alright, so I'm going to now open up my font. Start with the text. So before I can open up my font, I'm going to need to delete my cube, Shift A, and add in some text. Now, if you've never used text before in Blender, it's quite easy. I'm going to start by rotating it 90 degrees along the x-axis. And when I first used text, I was a little bit confused on how to change it. I thought it would be a setting in here, but nope. Instead of tabbing into edit mode, when you have a text model, you tab into basically type mode, and you can type what you want. So I'm going to start off by just doing the Minecraft logo. I have to recreate it for this little scene I'm making. So I'm just going to type in Minecraft, and that's good, but I hate the font. So I'm going to open up the new font that I just downloaded. So basically you choose that, you go to, I have it downloaded in a different file, but you go to your download file to get it, and open up the .ttf file. Now if I type, you'll see it's Minecraft text. So that's cool. And spelled that wrong. Alright, and that's what I want. So I'm going to do that, type it out, then hit tab to go back to object mode. I'll just center it up now. That's good. And I'm going to convert it from text. Well, hang on. Before I convert it, I want to add some thickness to it. So I'm going to use the extrude setting here, and I'm going to give it about a 0.2. So quite fat, but that's pretty much how the logo is. So that's what I'm doing, giving it a 0.2. Now I can convert it. Well, maybe it's a little too fat. Maybe I'll go 0.15. Yeah, that's good. So, no, 0.2. So I'm going to convert it now with Alt-C, or not Alt-C. Yes, Alt-C. I'm sorry, I hit Control-C. Alt-C, and, or Option if you're on a Mac. I'm going to go Mesh from Curve, Metadata, Serve Text. That is what I'm choosing. So now if I hit Tab, you'll see I have vertices like you're familiar with. Now, the text feature in Blender does not give you the best geometry. So if you needed really clean geometry, you'd want to come back and recreate it with better geometry. But that is not something I need to do for this, so I didn't. Now, when you do the text as well, with this font at least, I get some duplicate vertices across here. So I'm just going to choose Remove Doubles in my toolbar that you can open up with T over here. So remove doubles, and you can see it removed 248 vertices. Good, don't want them. Alright, now I'm going to switch to edge select mode down here on the bottom here, if you see that. And I'm going to give this a bit of a sharp bevel, because that is what the real logo has, and I like it. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go with 7 to go in the top view, hit B for box select, and select this side of the faces, or edges I should say, and B to select this side of the edges. Now, you can see if I go to front view, it didn't select everything, and that's because I need to check this option here. And this will let me select things that I cannot see on the other side of the object, basically. So now I'm going to do that again. B, select this side of edges, and B, select that side of edges. Very good. Now I just want the outlines of this mesh, so what I'm going to do is hit C. Now bring up my little pen selector, basically, and using the middle mouse button, I'm going to deselect these vertices. So just clicking with the middle mouse button. If you don't have a middle mouse button, whoop, don't want to do that, Command Z. I accidentally deselected something I wanted to keep. Make sure you don't do that. And just do it like so. Now if you don't have a middle mouse button, I believe holding shift down and clicking with your normal left click will do it too. So we'll do this, and we'll go around here, and like that. That's good for that letter. And just across my entire mesh here. That's good. That is good. This one's good. I can leave the inside here too, but like on the Minecraft face here in the A, this would get too messy trying to bevel, so I'm going to just deselect everything inside of it. Leave the edges only. Very good. Get you. You. And you. So yeah, I have a gaming channel, and if any of you guys are interested in gaming, or that interests you, go ahead and check it out. I have a link in the description, and yeah, check it out. If you like gaming, maybe you'd like my channel. So now that I have the edges all selected, I'm going to go... Did I miss something over here? No, it looks like I got... Looks like those duplicate vertices, but I got it there. Alright, so now that it's all selected, I'm going to go Control B, and then you can see I can put a bevel on it. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, go Control B, and kind of just put about that much of a bevel on it would be good, I think. So now you can see I get that nice sharp edge on the text, which is what I want. So I'm happy about that. Alright, so oh, we got a little bit of a problem here. Looks like maybe something got messed. So Command Z, Tab, and Command Z. No, I want to get my selection back. Okay, so I need to reselect this. I accidentally Command Z'd it and lost my selection. No big deal. I can do it real nice and fast. But yeah, don't do that. And make sure I must have accidentally left something selected there, and that kind of messed up my bevel. So don't do that. Don't make the same... Whoop, Command Z. Don't make the same mistake I did. And hopefully you guys can learn from that little mistake right there. But this is pretty easy, so I'm no big loss. No big loss. Just fly around here. I think this is more the letter that got mixed up a little bit. It should be good. Looks like I got everything clean on it. And I'll pay more attention to that letter now when I'm doing my bevel before I finish it off. You want to make sure that your mesh isn't having any issues before you finish off your bevel. So that's important. So I'm going to go Control B. And I'm not seeing anything going on. Let me try that again. Control B for bevel. This is weird. Why aren't I getting my selection? Do I have... Wait. Oh, when I Command Z'd, all my doubles came back. So that is something you want to watch out for. So, remember to remove your doubles a second time if you Command Z'd. And be careful with Command Z, because you can go too far and mess up. So, don't do that. Alright, so everything is selected again, and I'm just going to go Control B, keeping my eye on this text over here, the one I had the issue with. So I'm going to go Control B, and yes, I can see something happening a little funky with this one. When I go Control B, you can see I'm getting this face here doing something weird. Don't want that. So make sure all the doubles are removed, and let me try it again. Control B, let me just kind of get a view of what's happening over here. Alright, so we might have to, oh, don't you do that to me. Alright, go back to here. Control B. Maybe if we deselect the center here, let me try that. Control B. No, we got some vertices in here that are acting weird. So if you have this issue, just deselect whichever ones are being screwy. So I'll try deselecting those. B, back select, unselect those with the middle mouse button. Control B. No, it's something in here. Let me see if I can't get rid of it. B, unselect that. Control B. Yeah, there we go. It was something up there that was messing it up. So I can select this again with B and left click. There we go. Control B and put a little bit of a bevel on there. A little bit of like mess up and stuff is okay because this text is kind of supposed to be kind of cracked up and wrecked up a little bit. So that's okay. You also might want to come back though and kind of just straighten up some of the geometry. With like double tapping G, I can kind of slide some of these vertices back into place. I'll do this one. Hit G twice, kind of slide it back there. Hit G twice. Oh, I got two of them here. G twice, kind of pull those back a little bit. Kind of getting a little bit of a cracked look, but I like that because, like I said, that's good for this text. If you're doing a clean text logo, whoa. Okay, there you go. You will probably want to remesh or remodel your geometry to do it smoother. But that will work for this. Now, grab your camera and Control-Alt-0. Snap it to your front view. Grab it, hit middle mouse button, and pull the camera back a little bit. Center it up with moving along the x-axis. Now we're going to go down along the Z and kind of rotate up at it. So rotate up along the X and grab down along the Z. Rotate with X and grab along the Z. There we go. So I kind of want to get that looking up at it view. And I'm just going to kind of rotate it up a little bit more. Grab down along the Z. And I like that. I like that right there. So that's good. Now let's work on this material. This is the fun part. I'm going to be using cycles. And because I'm going to be doing some freestyle rendering, you will need to use Blender 2.71 test build. I have linked to the builds in the description, or 2.72 plus. So depending on when you're watching this video, it may change. But I have a link in case you're watching it before Blender 2.72 is out. So that's good. Now let's split my window here and switch to my UV node editor. Not my UV, my node editor. Excuse me. And, well, actually, no. Let's go to our UV editor first. My mind knew what I wanted. My head didn't know what I wanted. So I'm going to tab everything, hit A, hit U, and Smart UV Project. All right. Whoa, got an issue with that. What's that? Tab A, U, Smart UV Project. All right, it seems like the test build might be having an issue with the UV project. Like I said, this is a test build, and things will be maybe not always working perfectly, as you can see right there. So what I'm going to do is, in case you guys run into this issue, is I'm going to save my file. Saved. Now I'm going to open up just the plain Blender 2.71, do this part, and then jump back to my 2.71 test build to do the freestyle part. So I'm going to jump to Blender 2.71 right now. Alright, in Blender 2.71 now, I'll select everything U, and where is it? Smart UV Project. There we go, everything works well. Scale it up a little bit, and that should be good. Now let's get into our node editor and put the material on this bad boy. So the material is pretty basic. I'm going to use a toon shader. I'm using cycles, like I said. You can also do this in Blender Internal if you wanted to. But I'm pretty much doing everything now in cycles just because I like cycles. So I'm going to choose the toon shader right here and plug this into the surface. Now, I'm going to also want to set up a light. So I'm going to grab this lamp up here, turn it into a sun lamp, rotate it around like so, and go to top view with with 7 and rotate it back like that. Okay, now I can just pull it over here. So it's kind of rotated up and looking at my logo nicely. Choose Use Nodes. Give it a strength about 2 and just a little bit of a yellow tinge. And that should do that. Very, very good. So now in my camera view, if I go rendered, you'll see I get this look. Not so great. But it will get good. Trust me, it will get good. First of all, in my render settings here, I want to choose transparent. And then I want to go to my world settings, choose Use Nodes, and turn the color down a little bit on my background. Very good. Now I'm going to adjust this toon shader. I want it to have something like this, where you get this sharp look along the edges and this kind of flat look along the face of it. So this is what I'm kind of looking for. That's good. Something like that, around a 0.4, a little under a 0.4. Alright, now you can also play around with your sun lamp. Let me split this window one more time here and rotate my sun lamp around, looking at this through camera view, to kind of get the right edge that you're looking for. So if I try that and then maybe adjust my material back a little bit, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Happy with that. That's good right there. Happy with that. So now I'm also going to give my diffused look a slightly yellow look, very slight, kind of like that would do it. And let me turn my sampling up a little bit down here so I can see what this looks like without being grainy. So my preview I'll make 100. There we go. And that looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Alright, so one more thing, and that's putting the cracks in our logo. So what I'm going to do for that is Shift A, add in a texture coordinate to start. Shift A, add in a texture, image texture. Whoa. Now I'm going to open up that texture that I showed you in the beginning that you want to download. My soil cracked texture. I'm going to plug the UV into the vector. And I'm going to Shift A, add in a color converter color ramp. Plug that into the texture, or from the texture into the color ramp. Now I'm going to add in a bump node. This is going to be under vector, bump. Put that in between. Connect the color of this to the height of the bump node, and connect the normal of this to your normal of your toon shader. You can see that looks horrible. Very bad. It's actually kind of cool, but it's not what we're looking for. So what I'm going to do now is pull my white on my texture way back, so I get just the cracks coming through, and there you can see getting what I'm looking for. My strength is too strong. I'm going to go down to like a 0.4 on the strength. Ooh, yeah, that looks better. And yeah, maybe change the distance up a little bit. That's getting closer. Not too shabby. You might want to adjust just very slightly the amount of smoothness on your toon shader too, to get a little bit of a different look. But there we go. That's looking pretty nice. Pretty happy with that. It's a little bit bright, so I might darken this down a little bit. Yeah, that's not bad. This is looking quite like the Minecraft logo we're looking for. Very good. I don't need that down there. Now, the final thing will be to do our freestyle render on this. And like I said, you need to use the test build or Blender 2.72. So what I'm going to do is save my project, jump over the Blender 2.71 test build, and be right back with you. Alright, back in my test build. You can see it's 2.71.6 up there. That means it's a development version of Blender 2.7 for the most part. So now that I'm back here, I'm going to go to my render settings here, and I'm going to scroll down till I see Freestyle. Alright, so let me just kind of collapse some of these things here. Freestyle at the bottom here. This might be in a different spot for you, but it's right here. So I'm going to click Freestyle. Check that box right there. And then you see you have just 2 options. You might be thinking, wow, not a whole lot of options. No. I'm going to set this to 2. And if I go to my render layer settings, here's all my Freestyle render options. A whole bunch of options. Now this isn't going to be a tutorial that will cover doing all these things with Freestyle. It's very powerful, and I'm not going to be able to cover how to do all this. Basically, I'm just doing a basic stroke across my thing right now, my logo. And I don't need crease, and I don't need silhouette. I'm just going to leave it at border, and let me render that and see what that looks like. I'm just going to hit F12. Whoa, that flew by fast. Okay, escape out of that. Let me fix that. First of all, when I go rendered, let me check what I'm getting. Oop, crash. Okay, back. Like I said, the test builds might be a little buggy, but save often. That's the key. So Freestyle, 2 thickness, and just choose border. Very good. Now let's hit F12. We get our logo, and here comes the stroke. Oh, I don't see the stroke. Alright, maybe I need to choose silhouette there too. Let me just see if that was the issue. There we go. Yes, I want silhouette. And you see I get this nice stroke around my mesh, and that gives it kind of the cartoony Minecraft look I'm looking for. Feel, I should say. Yes, very good. So that is my Minecraft logo. Very good. I'm going to save this out. So save as image, Minecraft logo, craft logo, and save it as a PNG, and make sure it has RGBA selected, so it has a transparency with it in the PNG file, and save it. Okay, so now if you had any other logos that you wanted to do, like I have in my intro, you would go ahead and do that now, but I already have these made, so I don't need to do that step, and I'm just going to jump on to the next part, which is rendering out a few stills for my kind of 2D cartoony animation. Whew, that's a mouthful. So I'm going to save this now, and I'm going to open up the blend file I downloaded off Blend Swap. So I'm going to go File, Open, and go to my downloads. Where is it? Right here. My Minecraft file. Open this up, and you'll see you have these few models. Very nice. So what I'm going to do to make these easy to work with, let me just hide that background, is I want Zombie, I want Steve, and I want Creeper for my little thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit B, box select, select the zombie, Control G, make it a group, hit T to bring up my toolbar, name this group, I'll just give it a name of Zombie. And do the same with the other guys. So I'm going to go unselect these guys, B, select Steve, Control G, and name this dude Steve. Now unselect, whoops, unselect, and Creeper dude. B, select him, Control G, and name him Creeper. Very good. Now you want to save this blend. Now if I open up my tutorial again, I can now go I can go File, Append, and this will allow me to open up files from my other blend that I have here. So I'm just going to locate my mob blend with the Minecraft models in it, click on it, click Group, and now I can collect my characters. So I'm going to choose, I'll do the zombie first. So you can see it imported the zombie dude here. If I zoom out, I'll see him over here. And I'm just going to B, box select him, and move him to the center real quick. Grab along the x-axis, there we go. And let me get a quick screenshot of him. Not screenshot, but render of him, I should say. So I want my camera view around here. So I'm just going to find my camera view in 3D space, and then go Alt Control 0. I love that feature. And put him in. Now I need to move my camera to my other layer here. So I'm just going to hit M, hold Shift, and put it on both layers. Very good. So I'm going to reposition my camera, G to and middle mouse button to zoom in and out. Rotate around, finding something like that. Very good. Now this model is done with Blender internal, and so we need to give it a quick cycles material. And all I need to do is go to my materials, use nodes, Shift A, add in a image texture, select the texture zombie that came on him, plug it into the diffuse color. There we go. And if I go rendered, boom, you can see we get a zombie texture there. And if I enabled my other layer, so I have my sun lamp, boom, you have your sun lamp. So there we go. This zombie texture dude looks a little bit low quality, but that's just because the blend I downloaded. You could give him a higher quality zombie texture, or you could use one of the other many blends on Blend Swap. So there's those options too, but now basically you're just going to want to go F12, render your dude, and you'll get your freestyle stroke across him, which looks real nice. And then you do the same thing as the logo, save as image, and name him. So if you have any sort of cartoon images, or if you're doing a Minecraft intro, Minecraft guys you want to render out, do that now and save them out with a transparent background. Now we'll get on to the next part of animating our logo / intro. Alright, so assuming that you have all your images that you'll be using in your intro saved out now, I will go to my third layer here and start setting up my animated intro. So I'm going to go Shift S, put my cursor in the center there so it's nice and clean, and I'm going to enable an add-on. I'm going to go File, User Preferences, Add-ons. Now I want the Import Images as Planes add-on, so I'm just going to start typing out plane here and then enable this add-on. Very good. So under Cycles Render now, that is important, I'm going to go Shift A, add in Mesh, Images as Planes. Now you can see I have my Minecraft logo here, and that I just saved out, and this would be what you want to open up. And rotate this 90 degrees along the x-axis. Scale it up a little bit. And if I went rendered view, you can see it's the logo, which is what I want, but not exactly. So I'm going to delete that. Now what you can do with this cool Images as Planes add-on is if you scroll down here, you can actually have it set up a material for you in cycles. So I'm going to choose Emission and Transparent. So now if I do that logo, rotate it 90 degrees along the X and scale it up a little bit, you'll see it's clean. It has a transparent, and it's also an emissions shader, so it's bright and perfect. So that's what I want, and that's good. So that's good for the logo, and if you wanted to use, say, this zombie dude that I just rendered out here, you would save this out, boom, as zombie. Now, I have already done some guys like this. Hey, can you keep it down out there, please, Donna? Don't shout outside the door. Alright, so I've already rendered out a few guys that I can use for this. So I'm going to open up one of those now. I have my one Minecraft logo here. And I'm not going to create the whole animation I made, but I'll show you how I did it. So I'm going to go Control-Alt-0 and snap my camera to this location again. I'll have to move it to that layer as well. Hit M, and then hold Shift and click that layer. There we go. So I'm going to zoom out with my camera with middle mouse button, grabbing and middle mouse buttoning. Middle mouse buttoning. If I go rendered, you'll see I have my logo there, nice and centered in the screen. So I will also want some mobs, you know, in my animation. So I'll import those now. Images as Planes. Alright, so here I have already rendered out a few that I used in my animation. So I'm just going to open up the zombie. And it looks basically like this one, except a high quality texture. So I'd recommend maybe getting a blend file with higher quality textures. There are lots of them on Blend Swap. So you can see that I opened my zombie image here. And I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees along the x-axis, scale it up like the other one, and move this one in front of it. So now if I go rendered, I got my zombie dude in there. And it's on a flat plane, so if I go to top view, you can't see nothing. It's all on flat images. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, I don't want him in my screen right now. So I'm going to grab him and move him along, grab the zombie, and move him out of my screen. And I'll put him down on the bottom. And I don't want my logo in my screen either. So what I'm going to do for this is move this out of the top screen, holding G and Z. Alright, so let's start keyframing. Now, basically, at frame 0, I don't want anything here. So I'm going to click Automatic Keyframe Insertion. Now, anytime I move or touch an object, it will have a keyframe attached to it. So you got to be careful with this setting on. But I can now select my Minecraft logo, hit G, and let go, and leave it up there. And you can see on my timeline, it's put a keyframe there. So that is good. And I'm going to jump about 20 frames into my animation. grab my Minecraft logo along the Z-axis and pop it to the center of my screen here. Now, if I played this through, you would see, comes down. That's nice, but it's not exactly that interesting. You know, it's kind of blah. So something that I've been playing around with a little bit, it's a newer feature in Blender, which is really fun. Let me open my window up here a little bit here, and I switched my graph editor here, and if I hit N, you can see I have these interpolation active keyframe settings. So I'm going to drop down my keyframe setting here, and I want to choose the Z location one. This is basically the keyframe I just inserted along the Z axis. And I want it to kind of bounce down here. And if I go to here, you can see I have these different dynamic effects, and one of them is bounce. So if I choose that, you can see in my graph here, it automatically puts this little bounce curve animation in here. And it's basically, now if I play this through, you can see it will come down and then bounce. And that's that's basically it. It's a simple little add-on, not add-on I shouldn't say, but simple little tool here for doing cute little animations. I found it worked well for this scene, and I've used it in a few different places, and I like it. It doesn't have a whole lot of control over it, but it's pretty accurate as to like real-world gravity settings, and I like it. So that works well for this. If I play it in my viewport here, you can see my plane just bounces down and lands there, and that's exactly what I want. So after about 40 frames now, let me close this off, give myself some more room to work. After about 40 frames or so now, I want my zombie to pop up. So I'm going to go about to frame 60 here, select my zombie down here, and grab him to insert a keyframe on it. You can see I now have a keyframe there. I'm going to jump about 20 frames in, go to my camera view, and pull the zombie up into the frame. If I go rendered, I can kind of position him how I want, like right there. It's good, maybe to the side a little bit. And alright, so if I go back to solid view, you can see I might want to move this keyframe over a little bit. So move into that keyframe, move this whole object over a little bit, so he goes up in more of a straight line. Okay, that's not bad. And I kind of want him to bounce up into it too, because this is kind of a cartoony animation. So doing the same thing, give myself some more room, choose the Z location, and just add in a bounce. Very easy, very simple. And if I play this through here, you can see, boing, he bounces into my frame, exactly like I want. Now I want him to push out the Minecraft logo because, well, I guess I did this in my animation, but I don't necessarily need to do it here. Basically, I would just animate this like I did before by grabbing it, inserting a keyframe, and then grabbing in and pulling it out. So it basically gets pushed out of the frame by the zombie. But I don't really want that for this because this is just a short introduction, and I don't need to do that. And I kind of like him being in front of the logo. So if I go rendered viewport now, you can see he pops up just like I want. Boing, boing. Very good. Now I want to give you a few tips on rendering this, and then that will do it for this introduction video. So I'm going to end at about 100 frames here. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to go through all my other titles. It's all the same process. So what I want to do is quick add in a background image, and I'm going to do this the same way I did the animated ones. Just Shift A, images as planes. And this is just a basic logo that I got, or not logo, but background screen that I got off a Minecraft screenshot with some shaders on it. I'll give a link to this if you want to use it. But you can use any sort of Minecraft screenshot for this. And I'm just going to rotate it along the X in the background here. Go to wireframe mode and make sure it fills your frame. Very good. I also might want to animate my camera a little bit here. So I think I'll pull my camera out a little bit at frame 100, and then G, middle mouse button, pull it in a little bit. So you can see my camera's now slowly coming out the whole time, just to make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye. And on my camera settings, I want to hit V in my graph editor and make them all vectored lines. Alright, So you can see I have my Minecraft logo drop in and my zombie face pop in. Very good, very good. So let me get into a little bit of rendering now. So first of all, I don't want my background screen here to be quite so saturated. It's a little overly saturated, and if I do any color correcting later, it would be way too much. So I'm going to switch to my node editor here and just desaturate this image a little bit with a color hue saturation value. Take down the saturation a little bit on that background. Whew, it hurts my eyes, it's so bright. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so let's get into rendering. I'm going to disable Freestyle render now because I don't need that. It was good, but I don't need it anymore. Now hit F12, render out a basic shot here. Jump to my compositor. Click Use Nodes and Backdrop. If I click my render layer here with Control Shift, it'll add in a viewer node so I can see it in my backdrop. Very good. Now I just want some basic color correcting. So I'm going to throw in a, let me see, color balance, and Shift A, add in a hue saturation value just to give some saturation with this node, and then give it a little bit of brightening job here and darken job there. Maybe a little bit blue here. Yeah, and then darken it a little bit. Brighten this a little bit. Yeah, that's too saturated. Turn this saturation down. But you can see you get a nice, more pleasing look. Very good. And you can also add in some glows like I did to make the animation look a little bit nicer. You can just add in a filter, glare, and I did fog glow. Turn the threshold down a little bit so I get more of it coming in there. Some of that looks good, and then I also did a glare node and then choose ghosts to get kind of a lens flare effect happening. I know I already have a lens flare in the background, so you don't want to overdo this, but just a little bit looked good for me. So do something like that, and that's too much. Turn it down. Turn it down. Add some color modulation. Very good. So a little bit of lens flare. You don't really need it, but it's there. So I also added a vignette and stuff, but I'm not going to do that for this quick animation. So I'm going to connect my glare node to my composite node and set up my render here. I'm just going to choose a location to render this. Let me jump to my file here, and I'll just create a new folder called animated. Animated. There we go. And I'm going to render out 100 frames here so I can show you how I then will use it in a intro. So my last node is connected to my composite node. Everything should work well. I'm just going to render at 50%. Render animation. You can see it will quickly render out my 100 frames, and I'll be back when this is finished so I can show you what I got. I'm rendering it out as PNGs, just basic flat image, not a movie file, but an image file. Alright, so you can see it's rendering out fast and good, and I'll be back with you guys. Oh, hold on. I'm going to be back right now. This is too close. I animated my camera, but I went too close in front. Never checked that. Go to frame 1 and pull my camera out. Not so much. There we go. Now, with a keyframe inserted, let me check this out. That's much better. Just a little bit of camera movement. Maybe I can give it a little bit more at the end here. Pull it out. Very good. We got this nice, slow animation look. Nice. And now I can render out again. For real. So change this to solid and render animation. And it will render out here. And I'll be back when this is finished now. Alright, so those 100 frames rendered out real fast. And one thing I forgot to mention, I'm not going to re-render, but motion blur adds a lot to these little 2D animations. If I check motion blur over here, I'll jump to a frame where like the zombie's poking his head up here and render that. And you can see that you get some nice motion blur going on, and that adds a lot of cartooniness to it. I also have a little depth of field on my camera set up, but I don't need to do that here. So, how do you use this animation now? Well, it's all rendered out as an image sequence because I chose PNG and put it in my animated folder. So I'm going to go to video editing, jump to frame 1, and go Shift A, import image, and choose my animated folder. And you can see I have 100 frames here rendered out. I'm just going to hit A to select them all and add image strip. So basically it's nothing but add image strip by selecting them all. Now if I scroll in here a little bit and play this, you can see boing, boing. That's our animation. And it's very simple and easy to do, and quite a lot of fun. So I hope you guys got something out of this tutorial. Now if you wanted to add sound effects or whatever, you could do that in the sequence editor here. I have a tutorial on using the sequence editor and adding some sound effects and stuff, so if you want to go into more detail with that, check out the tutorial here. But yeah, there you go guys. That is how I did my basic YouTube intro. And like I said, if you like gaming, check out my gaming channel, and that's going to do it for me. So I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye-bye.